Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we're here for round number 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. First things first, if we did miss an absolutely crazy Baku Grand Prix, and also the Monaco one before that, and even Canada as well, like the last 3 races have been absolutely mental. If you have missed any of them, then do go check out the playlist. Also, click on the card in the top right corner for the latest episode. But we've had a really surreal streak of races, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but we're definitely in good form at the moment, and I'm feeling pretty positive going into this race weekend. And straight away diving into Friday practice, we got obviously an engine upgrade for this race, and also the practice programs as well were going pretty well for us as we scored purple on everything. And the only thing we didn't get is obviously maximum points in the team objectives, because there was the thing where I had to redo the race strategy twice, but that's one that just takes a lot of time, and also it takes a lot out of your engine as well, so I prefer not to do it. But jumping into qualifying here on Saturday, and it was absolutely chucking it down like mad, and I noticed straight off the bat this car does not like the wet conditions. I've noticed before in the season as well, but I've managed to pull it out of the bag. But around this circuit, I could not get this car to work in the heavy rain conditions, and really just couldn't get, the front end wasn't going into the corners and the back end wasn't sticking coming out of them, so it was a really horrible balance in the car. And I eventually managed to get a lap together, and I come across the line in 6th place, but eventually that would see me drop down all the way down to P11, so we lost a lot of time there. Massa only managed in P12 as well, so really making a bit of a struggle of the conditions in Q1. And then jumping into Q2, it dried out a little bit. We opted for the intermediate tyres, and same story really. Didn't really improve that much, and I was pushing hard, I was trying my hardest, but the car felt exactly the same in these conditions compared to the full wet. For some reason, the track looked pretty dry, but it still handled as if it was like heavy rain, and the lap times weren't that much better, and I was really struggling overall to get a lap together. And it was going okay for me. I managed to get a pretty decent lap together in the end, and when I come across the line, you'll see now, bang on when the time ends, as I cross the line, checker flag goes out, we do go P8, and I thought that would have been enough. However, it turns out we actually got knocked out, and it wasn't even close. We got knocked out in 13th place, and Vettel managed to get through in 10th on full wet. So a very odd qualifying session, and to summarise, I just really couldn't make the car work in the wet conditions. Just didn't work for me at all. I do have a bit more of a dry setup on the car, but even still, I just could not get the grip or the performance out of the car, and I was really baffled going into the race tomorrow. Luckily though, there is no rain expected on Sunday, so hopefully we'll get away with it. Also, we will have free tyre choice, obviously starting on wet after qualifying on the wet tyres, but hopefully we can do a better job of it tomorrow in the race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Sunday for round number 9 for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, here we are then on the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix, and a disappointing qualifying yesterday, only 12th place. However, that is going to give us the benefit of a strategy advantage and fresh tyres for the race, which I'm looking forward to. Overall, obviously, it was a wet Q2, so everyone unfortunately will have the advantage of the tyres along with me. But I'm just hoping that I can do more damage than other people around me, and I'm basically banking that a lot of people in the top 10 have actually gone for ultra softs or super softs. But speaking of which, I've opted for the soft compound tyres. We're going to go into one-stop strategy and move on to supers, but I'll talk about that later on. But first things first, in this race, dry conditions throughout, so no rain, which is good for me because the rain doesn't really suit this car at all. I really struggle in the rain, so I'm glad it's dry, and also it's a track that tends to suit our car more than others, so I'm looking to take full responsibility and trying to get maximum points as possible from this race. But in terms of the race strategy, like I said, one stop from softs onto supers, and overfueled by around half a lap. So I'm looking to go pretty aggressive this race in terms of trying to get the maximum out of these tyres, and I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race, and let's see how we can recover after a poor qualifying. So let's jump straight into the race. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready to the 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go here on the soft compound tyre. It's an average start from us. Van Dorn off to a screamer, as does Fernando Alonso further up the road in the other McLaren. But into turn 1 here, we're going to get very tight on the apex, a little bit of contact here and there. We just got to try and keep our nose out of trouble, and it's a good start. So we just get past Alonso, and we're now in the slipstream of Max Verstappen. We're going to pull to the inside of the Dutchman here as we now go up the hill into turn number 3 for the first time. Got to try and avoid having contact whilst still being aggressive and trying to fight our way through, and so far it's a good start. We've just managed to get past there, and we're now up into P9. We've got Perez in front, Massa also on the same tyres as me further up the road, so strategy-wise, this is going to be very interesting. We've got a Ferrari off on the left-hand side. Sebastian Vettel going deep there. An issue for the Ferrari, and that's Vettel right down to the back of the pack into last place. Meanwhile, Perez and Massa scrapping out in the virtual safety car. So we're going to go down to Limix, save a bit of fuel. It's been a crazy start, and Perez for some reason has been given the position over Massa there. So either way, don't know what exactly happened there, but either way, a great start from us from P12 up into P8, and we've got the better tyre strategy, so that is good for us. So let's try and get ready for this restart and hopefully try and be nice and aggressive. Okay, the VSC is about to end here, so we're going to use it as an opportunity to try and get past my teammate Felipe Massa here on the brakes into turn 3. Massa's actually going to lock up a little bit, so we're going to slip up the inside, short shift onto fourth gear to try and pick up the traction, and it's going to be a drag race with my Williams teammate here down into turn number 4. We've just got the legs on him because I'm running pretty low aero, and we've made the move on Felipe up into 7th place. So far it's a good start, and we've got a couple of ultra soft runners in front, which means they could be on a 2-stop strategy. So far this is looking very promising, but we now have to settle into a bit of a race rhythm here on this tyre. So far, pace is good. Another personal best, bang on the 1:09s. We've got Ricardo just up the road here, and then also there's a little train of cars battling for 2nd place, I think it is, or maybe a little bit higher up, a little bit 3rd place, I think it is. Either way, little train of cars up the road, you can just see into turn 3 there. So we're not too far away. Pace is good so far, so we just got to try and keep it going. Oh, another virtual safety car has been deployed. I don't know why. There was a yellow flag on the main straight, but 2nd virtual safety car of the race, and we're only on lap 8. This is turning into a bit of a mad race already, but so far, little sit rep, and the car is driving pretty nicely. I mean, it's very easy to drive this car around here. It suits the track. These soft tyres are not doing too bad. We are pretty much matching Ricardo for pace, and he's on 2 compounds softer than me, so it's looking pretty good so far, and I'm looking forward to eventually when the tyres just start to fade a bit and we can come into our zone with these tyres, and also obviously eventually switch onto the super softs. But right now we are holding our position, so far it's looking pretty good. Right, we've got the first few cars in the pit lane in the form of Daniel Ricciardo and also Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, we set another personal best in the low 1:09s, and the car's feeling pretty good, handling pretty nicely. Tyres are holding up more or less, and we're just sort of controlling our pace. I don't know how much damage you can do into the top 5 more or less once obviously all the pit stops are done. I think I'm going to have to rely a little bit on the rich mix eventually when I come down to use that. But so far we're trying to find the maximum pace on these tyres, and we've got about another 8 laps to go on these before we switch over to the super soft. So until then, we just got to keep pushing. Right, now we've got Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen coming in, so those guys are the next ones into the pit lane. I wonder if they'll be able to make the one-stop work and go into the softs. I mean, Perez is going to definitely go for that as he's going to the soft compound tyres. We've just got a lot of tyre wear. We need to really fix this, and I might even have to do an upgrade very soon for it, because it's really becoming a frustrating issue on my car now. And now we have Esteban Ocon in the pit lane, and also another car further up in the form of Kimi Räikkönen, who's also going for the one-stop. It looks like everyone around me is going for the one-stop strategy here, which is very frustrating because it means I'm going to have some really good pace in them super softs to make anything up this race. We are close to Kimi here, but realistically it's not really worth me overtaking it because he's going to be faster than me on fresh tyres anyway. I might as well just stay behind him, get his DRS, and just keep basically pushing. Okay, safety car out of nowhere, and I think it's because Kvyat just retired. I think I saw a bit of yellow on the mini-map, but that's going to give us the opportunity here to come in, so I've got to make sure I get it all slowed down into the pit lane. I don't want to speed, so there we go, nice and early, getting it all slowed down. But we're going to come in straight away for the super softs. We're never going to think about this because this is a great opportunity for us to make something happen this race. So we're going to come in, get off those soft compound tyres, 2.2 pit stop, and try and rejoin now, and let's see what we can do. I mean, we could even run ultras if we wanted to right at the end, but it's just the fact we can get the pit stop out of the way and obviously have the tyre strategy. There's a car on the left hand side who's retired, and I'm guessing that's Kvyat. Either way, we're going to rejoin just behind Sergio Perez here, but that safety car timed absolutely phenomenal. So I wonder now where this is all going to sort of feed out. We've got to make sure we drive very slowly and keep these tyres in. Verstappen is also out of the race now, so double retirement here. So now it's a question of trying to get these tyres to the end of the race. There's the safety car, so we're going to go around for at least another lap. So let's just keep these tyres in and hopefully try and make something happen in the remaining part of this race. Okay, I think something's not right here because we're constantly having to catch the safety car queue. For some reason, something's not right, and I feel like the safety car has glitched out, and there's been contact here between Massa, Perez, and the safety car. Something's not right because the safety car can't seem to pick up the leader, which is really odd. Okay, so the safety car seems to have fixed itself. So the safety car is in this lap. We've got so much fuel saved up, it's absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to be pushing flat out until the end of the race. I don't know if my tyres will make it that well, but I definitely will make it for fuel, and the rich mix will make up for my tyre compromise. So we're ready for this restart. Let's try and get as many points as we possibly can and try and bring this car home. So let's push and let's see what we can do here. So we get ready for the green flag conditions, and we are green and racing again here at Austria. So the restart is underway. Safety car has fixed itself. So now let's go racing and let's see what we can do. We've got loads of slipstreaming going on here, and we've got to try and play our cards nicely. So into turn one, Perez making the move on my teammate Felipe Massa. I'm going to try and set myself up for a good exit, which I have had, but Perez is still getting a huge toe off of Felipe here, but they're going to go too wide into turn three. I'm going to play my cards here and just dive it on the brakes because I've got the fresh tyres up the inside of turn three, make the move, pick up the traction, and there we go. We've just done it beautifully there and up into 6th place. So a nice little double overtake there, and also that sort of showcase that this Williams car is still down in straight line speed. So we got loads of slow cars here. I'm just getting distracted whilst I'm talking, and it's actually a slow Mercedes of Bottas, I think it might be, who's causing traffic. So Valtteri Bottas having issues with his Mercedes car and currently going side by side with Hamilton, so we might have another chance of making some moves. We've got Perez in second, Raikkonen leading the way, but Bottas definitely has issues with that silver arrow of his, so let's try and be careful whilst also trying to play as tactical, make a move. We've got cars coming to the pit lane here, and everyone's coming in, or almost everyone. Is that because, have we just had a Monaco again? Have we got cars who have sped under the safety car? That's really weird, but we're now into 2nd place, and Raikkonen's just in front, and we've got the better super soft tyres on the car, so could we do something here? Could we pull something off? Let's push and see what we can do. Okay, so pace is good, and we're catching Raikkonen here, so you never know. It could be on the cards. Well, I'm still trying to push as hard as I can. Another personal best, but the gap is only slightly coming down to Raikkonen. I need to make a mistake, or maybe his pace drop off a bit for me to have a chance of really getting past him here. Still pushing hard, 2.3, the gap is coming down, but I'm really on the limit of my pace now. Okay, so with 3 laps to go, we're now out of rich mix, and Vettel has overtaken Perez, and now Sebastian is on the hunt, and we're struggling now to keep pace with these guys as my tyres are starting to wear out a little bit now. So it's going to be a question of survival now and trying to hold on to this 2nd place. Right, here we go through the final corner. We're going to go on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. My tyres are really struggling now for some overall grip. Sebastian Vettel is within DRS here, so he's going to look to make the move as Pascal Wehrlein retires with 1 lap to go here. So we've got to try and survive these next 2 straights, and we should be good to go. Sebastian Vettel's going to look very close to us, but I have got rich mix to defend from the German. So can we stay ahead? It looks like we are going to stay ahead into this break zone. So Sebastian isn't going to make a move just yet, and I'm going to keep it in rich mix now for this next back straight. It's critical we get good traction out of here, which we have done as we now approach the yellow flag zone. So that's going to pretty much restrict Vettel from making any sort of overtake on me, and that's going to pretty much solidify my 2nd place now unless I make a mistake. So I've got to try and nurse this car home for the remainder of the lap here. Sebastian is still very, very close. Right, looks like we are home and dry. Raikkonen's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. We're going to come home in 2nd place if we just get this final corner nailed, which we have done. And Sebastian Vettel's going to push us for 3rd, but luckily we beat him to the line and we get the 18 points and we split the Ferraris at the Red Bull Ring. But what a race that was. And that was very, very stressful, very long, and I was definitely pushing on the limit of the pace a lot. Just like in Baku, I really do feel tired after these races because I'm pushing this Williams car to the limit, and it's a real proper challenge, and I'm glad I got my reward for it, genuinely, because it's really hard to push on the limit for so many laps, and I'm so glad we managed to come away with our own and get 2nd place to get some really good points there. But Raikkonen wins, like I said, at Austria, and he's back on top. He's back on top form now, and Vettel takes home 3rd place, and we split the Ferraris. But we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings. Right, so looking at the final race results, Kimi Raikkonen wins the Austrian Grand Prix. We come home in 2nd place, and Vettel rounds up the podium. Sergio Perez in P4, albeit with a 5-second penalty to his time. And then Nico Hulkenberg from P19 on the grid, finishing in P5. Absolutely incredible result for him there. Same goes for Romain Grosjean, gaining 8 places. Valtteri Bottas, the pole man, down in P7. Disappointing race for him. And Esteban Ocon, Felipe Massa, and Jolyon Palmer ran out the points, with Lewis Hamilton just missing out thanks to a 5-second penalty. But if we go further down the order here, we shall see who retired, and it was 4 retirements in the form of Magnussen, Kvyat, Verstappen, and Pascal Wehrlein. And also in terms of the race director, if we look at what happened there, as you'll see, drive-throughs for speeding under the safety car for Ocon, Ricciardo, Hamilton and Bottas, which were the ones that came in after that restart. But In terms of the driver standings after that race, we jump into 5th place, overtaking Esteban Ocon, and we're only 2 points behind Perez. We are neck and neck with the Pink Panthers right now, and only 11 points behind Hamilton. So we're doing well. We know we're holding in there. Obviously, we're not going to win the championship this season, but we're going to give it a good go in terms of trying to finish at least in the top 5. And Raikkonen extends his lead to 24 points, and is now 52 points clear of Lewis Hamilton. So Raikkonen in the last couple of races really stepping up his game after his teammate Vettel had a pretty dominant start to the season. But then finally in the constructors, you can see that we are remaining in 4th place there. No one's really threatening anybody at the moment. It's all sort of in no man's land. No one's really close to anybody. So we're now going to jump into the laptop and see if we purchase any possible upgrades. Okay, so looking at the laptop after that race, and we are going to get one upgrade, and it's just the one that failed on us a couple of races ago, and it's going to be the rear downforce for the monkey seat, purely because I won the upgrade for my home race in Britain, so I can have a good performance. But after that, it's going to be time to really save points up for some ultimate upgrades. From now until the end of the season, I want to have this front wing upgrade here, I want to have this rear wing upgrade, and also I want to have the DRS maximum slot gap. So those 3 upgrades, I want to do them before the end of the season, and then with those 3 major air upgrades, that should give us a massive push into at least a top 5 or top 4 in the air, or maybe neck and neck with Force India. So I'm hoping we can get onto those very soon, and then obviously pushing towards next season, obviously maybe do this diffuser one here maybe, but really it's just those 3 that I want to do. And then once those are done, I do really want to do this tyre wear one here, because we are in need of some tyre wear performance, like improvement. And then also my ICE is taking a major whack because it's got not a single reliability upgrade, so I could do one now, but I'm gonna wait a bit, because we're not going for reliability this season. If I have to take an extra engine, I'll take an extra engine, but I'm probably going to do and take care of durability and reliability at the end of the season with the points bonus. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then please do slap a like on this video. Let's try and smash 300 likes for this episode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content, and also please be sure to check out the links down below in the description if you did miss any of the previous videos. If not, also click on the ones on screen, and also please be sure to check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description, and use your code Tom97 for a 5% discount. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.